We are so excited. We have decided to put together a golf tournament.
Yes.
And this golf tournament, every single piece of the profit is going to go for scholarships to trade schools.
Yes.
And we're working with Collin, Tarrant, some state schools,
Yes.
all trade schools.
Yep.
And we're really excited about it because
Girls and boys. Yep.
Like just anybody who is, we're really trying to push trade schools. We are short 375,000 jobs in the state of Texas in residential only.
Yes.
That's how many jobs are out there in residential.
Right.
And our electricians are retiring, our plumbers are retiring, and those are apprenticeship positions. And so we really need to we're short trades.
Yeah.
And so to encourage that, we are doing a fundraiser, basically a fundraising golf tournament. And we are going to, it's going to be November 10th.
November 10th at Riverchase Golf Course.
From 10 to 6.
Yes, from 10 to 6. So Riverchase is kind of central in DFW. So hopefully it's easy for everyone to get to. So we're going to have builders, vendors. We're going to do
commercial. We have residential.
Yes. We are doing like all the things the golf tournaments do, like prizes, mulligans.
We have dinner, lunch,
longest from the tee.
Yes.
All the things.
And you can find all the information on buildhersclub.com.
Yes.
And go to our event page.
Yes.
If you have any questions, you can email hello@monarchmediahub.com. But we're looking for partners. We're looking for players, and we're really excited about it. It's for charity, y'all. Like, it is one of the biggest needs that we have in our industry
for sure
is in advancing trades.
Yes. And this is a dream for me. So I am so fired up. I have always wanted to host a golf tournament, and what a better way to do that than for every single penny to go towards students for scholarships and trades.
Welcome to the BuildHERS Club podcast. We're here to bring you real conversations and fresh insights from a woman's perspective in the construction industry.
Each episode will sit down with incredible guests, female builders, designers, business owners, and industry leaders to talk about the challenges, successes, and experiences that shape our careers.
Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out or simply curious about the industry, this is your space to learn, be inspired, and connect with a community of strong, trailblazing women.
Welcome to the BuildHERS Club. My name is Teresa.
And I'm Sanika.
And today we are going to talk about women in construction business, and we're going to come together. We're going to share stories of resilience, growth, and grit.
Every week, we shine a light on the women building careers, communities, and confidence from the ground up.
And today our topic is
Breast cancer.
Breast cancer awareness, because we're in October. It's one of the biggest things. And, kind of falls in line with our Halloween theme of scary stories as well, because it's certainly not a fun one.
Not a fun one.
So I'm super excited to have our guest here today and go ahead and tell us all about her.
So joining us is the amazing Jaynean French, my friend. I'm so grateful to have you here.
Glad to be here.
Thank you so much for coming on. Jaynean is not only a strong advocate for women, but also someone who has personally walked the journey of breast cancer. She's here to share her story of resilience and how she found strength in her hardest moments. Jaynean moved to Texas from Illinois after being an assistant principal at a small private school in 2008. She thought she was going to continue her teaching career, but after taking a few years off with her kids, she decided to switch gears and go back to school at East Texas A&M and graduated with a degree in organizational leadership in 2013. I could have used that degree.
I didn't even know that was a degree.
So you would be surprised at how many different areas that covers. Like it's like a psychological degree. So it helps you with leading people, helps you to understand how to be led by people. It's like a really interesting kind of catch-all organizational leadership style. It really goes with human resources, but it goes and teaches you a lot about this human psyche.
Interesting.
I love that. We're going to go into that more.
If I ever go back to school, I would love to deep dive into that.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. As she was finishing her degree, she went back to work full-time and started as a temp at Jaynean Homes. Jaynean had a little knowledge about construction because she worked at a title company right out of high school. At Jaynean, she answered phones and hand-coded invoices. Jaynean started learning more about the business and fell in love with purchasing. She moved up to purchasing manager, and from there, she has worked at Pulte Homes, Mill Creek Residential, and now Davidson Homes. When Jaynean is not working, she is spending time with her husband, Michael, or having fun with her grandson, Jameer, and wishing she also got to see her granddaughter, Charlie, that lives in Wisconsin. Yes. So the last time I saw you, you were helping me with a 500-pound suitcase.
Yes.
Down this rocky gravel road when we went to the Bow. So right then thereafter, you and Michael, I believe, were getting your son off to LSU.
Yes.
So how did that go with Aiden?
Youngest son, Aiden.
Yes.
So blended family.
Yes.
And we took him down to school. He's been with us every summer since he's been 8. So instead of going back home for the summer, he wanted to drive down with us. So we drove down and had a really good time. Love LSU's campus. First time being there. And he has done awesome.
Oh, I love that.
He loves it. Dad was really worried. I'm like, this is my third one dropping him off someplace. So I'm just like, they're going to be fine. Trust me, they figure it out quick.
They figure out their independence.
They figure out very quickly, right?
Yes.
And once we got home and he was like, no, I went to go do this with my roommates and I went to go do that. Then now Dad is a whole lot more like, okay, he's okay.
Good.
So
when is your first parent weekend?
So first parent weekend was in September. However, I think it was this past weekend. Okay. However, Aiden's mom went.
Okay.
And Dad didn't want to go the same weekend as Mom was there again. So we are going to go on a different weekend.
Gotcha.
So hopefully we're going to go see the A&M or the LSU and A&M game.
Oh, how fun.
So that's the weekend that we're trying to go back down there.
And that should be good. Those Tigers are undefeated.
Yes, they are.
Oh my!
And get to see him in his natural habitat when it's not like coordinated. So,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. And see how independent we are.
Yes.
Look, Mom, I can cook.
I can cook. Right. And he is such a great kid. I will say his mom has done a great job with him. And he is very independent, very smart kid. He also went through a bout with cancer recently. Geez. And so his whole junior year was him going through his own journey with cancer. So rightly so, Mom has been overly protective because she almost lost her baby. And but he's such a great kid.
Is
he
she
really
his
is.
Only child?
He is. Yes,
okay.
He is her only
Backwards.
child. So, but she did great listening to him when he said that he didn't feel right. I continue to applaud her because I'd have been like, suck it up, keep going. Like, there's nothing wrong.
Yeah. That's how we do.
Your arm just hurts. Like, you carried your book bag wrong or whatever. But she actually did a deep dive, listened to him. And I can't remember the exact name of the cancer, but he actually had a tumor growing in his arm.
Okay.
And so they had to remove the tumor. And he's got limited mobility in his right arm. But it's getting better and better over time. But he made it through, and now that's kind of our thing as we get to share. We both have gone through. So it. Michael is always like, now I've always wondered why I went through that with you, and having gone through it with you helped me to go through it with Aiden. So so it's just one of those where it's like full circle of he was the one that was able to calm Mom down. Let her know that, there's so much that doctors can do. Right. They've got this, and be that strong hold that she needed while she was freaking out in Atlanta with him. So
did he have like you could see it, or because there's fatty pockets that you can get and you could see them visibly.
It was deep in his bone.
So they couldn't. Okay.
So they couldn't. He just started complaining that his arm was hurting him, and it was hurting him more than normal. He doesn't play sports. He's more of a computer kid. So it wasn't like, he'd been playing football or doing something.
An injury or something.
Yeah. And so, but he complained about it long enough, and she took him in, and sure enough, it was actually something wrong. So like I said, I always applaud her because it would have been devastating to not have gone in. She caught it early. They were able, it was in the bone. So he has part of his bone that's actually removed. So like I said, it's a long name, but it's a bone cancer. I think it's like the third most common bone cancer in teenage boys.
I didn't even know there was a common answer for teenage boys.
Right.
Neither did I.
And so it I guess it has to do with the growth, the way that they grow. So it's more of a teenage boy type of cancer. But yeah, he got through it. You know, I was able to help him, you know, okay, food wise, exercise, you know, all the different things. These are things you're going to go through. This is how you're going to feel. Did
he have to do chemo after?
He did. Yeah. So he had to do chemo. He didn't have to do radiation.
Okay.
But he went through, his chemo was way worse than mine.
Oh, wow.
But because he had to do his twice a week and it was every other week. And it was, so when you're going through breast cancer, they have a certain type of cancer or drug that's called the Red Devil. And I only had to go through 4. I think he had to go through 6.
Oh my!
And it's like knocks you down.
Yeah.
That's the
kills
one.
Your immune system, basically.
Yeah, completely.
Yep.
And that's that's the one that makes you lose all your hair and where you can't get up the next day. And he had a really bad reaction where he was vomiting and, you know, not able to. They had to keep him in the hospital for the whole week because he wasn't recouping as quickly as they wanted him to.
Oh, as a mother,
originally.
I would be the same way.
And she's a teacher, so she had to, you know, take off completely, and spent, was it 4 months? 4 months total, I think, is what he went through his chemo. So we would go. We originally started going down there like every other weekend. Then Michael and I got him sick one time.
Oh, no.
Because we had caught colds and weren't really showing, you know, you're an adult. So you're just like, okay, just runny nose, allergies, whatever. Well, we ended up realizing we were actually sick, which then got him sick. And so he got thrown off his chemo for a week. So then we're like, okay, now we can't even go back and see him because now we don't want to get him, you know, his immune system is compromised and we're already like everyone's, you know, mask and hand sanitizer and not getting too close, but he still got sick. So then we got weirded out about even going to see him.
Right.
So it was just, you know, a lot of talking on the phone. And then once he got through the really bad chemo, that's when we started going back down there to see him. And then, we got to see him ring the bell and he did great and hair back and eyebrows back and back to, you know, you would never know that he went through that whole ordeal.
I think if I was going to go through something at a younger age is where you'd want to, because your body is so much more resilient.
It's so much more resilient. And that was the positive things with the doctors. It was, you know, he's young. We caught it early. He should, you know, rebound from this, no problem.
Right.
It's just hard watching. So it's so funny.
Watching your child.
Biggest thing, and I'm probably just talking too much, but
no, not at all.
The biggest thing with me finding out about my cancer was all I kept thanking God for is I'm glad it's me, so I don't have to watch somebody else go through it, because that's like, if I had to watch my kids go through this, like, or my parents, like I wouldn't be able, because you can't do anything.
No. Yeah.
And I'm like, I know for me, I'm making it through this. Like, I know who I am and what I'm going to do, and we're going to knock this out and get through it. But I couldn't imagine watching somebody else.
That's how I would be. I'm a fixer.
Yes,
if I can't fix
you
it,
can't fix it. Exactly. And so when he got it, it was just like, oh, this is what I didn't want to watch. And but you know, the silver lining of it for Michael was, hey, I've watched you go through this. I know what to expect now. He's like, if you had never gone through it, I don't even know if I'd be able to stand right now, because I'd be devastated.
Right. And not being in the same state as his child.
Exactly.
That would just be devastating.
It'd be so hard. And so he was like, now that knowing, you know, that he's going to get through it made it easier for him, and he could then be a support. We could both support his mom for her, because she was, oh my gosh, as you could imagine, she was a wreck when she found out, and her whole life is right there. And you know, her mind went, of course, it always goes to the negative. And Aiden's whole attitude honestly was kind of like, I guess I just gotta go through this, because you know, when you're that young, you don't even know what you don't know.
Your mortality, your thinking of mortality is like, I'm going to be fine. So we drive 100 miles an hour when we're 16 down the road.
Exactly.
You know, you're not thinking you're going to die for anything.
You're not going to think you're going to die for anything. And so he's just like, I think it hit reality once he realized how hard the chemicals affected your body. And there were a couple times when you could tell he was just like in a daze because it was just rough.
They don't show you the videos of that.
Exactly.
And there's a reason why, but...
But honestly, though, I kind of wish that more people would be honest about what they're going through or document what they're going through, because then for that next person who goes through it, you realize there is a way out of this.
Horrible.
Yes.
And they did too, but they made it.
Exactly.
Hence why thank you for being here.
Yes. Which is,
I love the raw honesty.
I love sharing my story because I am always like, if I can help anybody else, that is wholeheartedly the goal. That's really why I feel like God had me go through it, because I always feel like he has us go through things so that we can help somebody else. Yes. And we always look at things like, oh my gosh, why am I going through this?
Right.
Well, a lot of times you go through it because you're going to be able to help somebody else who goes through the same thing.
Yeah.
I question God a lot. Like, are you sure you know what you're doing?
You sure you know? Right. Like,
come on, man. Right? Like, seriously.
Am I really the chosen one to
Can't you pick somebody else?
Exactly.
I'm not strong enough for this.
Exactly. Well, and it's and even with that, like, I had just gone through a divorce.
Oh, wow.
And then a year later, I got diagnosed. Michael had just moved here. It was a lot that happened like right when I got diagnosed.
So much.
And so it was just like,
it wasn't like you were in the stable relationship.
Yeah. It was like he just got here. We had just decided, okay, we're going to be for real and we're going to go ahead and get married. I had a teenager who was still getting used to him and dealing with me having just gone through a divorce, and then this came, and I actually, when first found out, I was like, okay, you didn't move here for this, so if you want to,
I'm letting you back out.
I won't think any less of you.
Right.
But he was just like, there's no way, like, I could have any good conscience of walking away from you at this time.
Right.
And
that's amazing. That's a true testament to his character.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
They're like, yes, I'm going to marry you now.
Yes.
And I bet it made y'all so much.
Oh, it did. It very much did. It very much did. And he was a huge part of CB Jenny. Everybody at CB Jenny was such, oh my gosh, they took such good care of me. When I was going through, and once they found out, I was like,
so for our listeners, CB Jenny is where you work.
It's where I worked at the time when I was going through, when I got diagnosed. I'd gone in for a biopsy. And Michael was actually the one who was like, have you noticed that you have like a lump on the side? And I'm like, oh, it's probably just a cyst. I've gotten, cysts and they go away when I was younger.
Fibroid,
no big deal. And he was like, you might want to go get that checked out. And
how big was it?
It was probably it was about that big.
Okay.
And it was on the side.
And it was on the side. Thank God it was on the side. Like, it was literally on the side where you could feel.
Okay. Yeah,
so my incision is literally right under my arm.
Okay.
And you could feel like a little bit of a lump.
Was it hard?
It was hard.
Okay. Do you do normal checks?
Oh, now I do.
Well, right. I know they say you, and who remembers to do that? But
especially when you're 40, you're late 30s, early 40s. You're not supposed to, at least back then, that's not supposed to be what you have to really worry about.
Right.
I was always hot around your menstrual cycle, but that's the most uncomfortable time to do it as well,
because your hormones are all over the place,
right?
So it's even
tender, and
exactly,
you're like, that's the last thing I want.
That's the last thing I want.
But that was a way that you would remember to do it.
Right.
Well, then as you get older, that changes. So then how do you remember?
Right. And like I said, and to your point, honestly, as you get older and life is life, and you don't really think about it every single time. And just because of my age, and there's no one in my family that's had it in the past. So out of sight, out of mind, it's kind of like a 100%. Check here and there, but not serious about it. And he was the one who was like, I think you should probably get that checked out. And I'm one of those people that when someone tells you, something that's completely out of the ordinary, I feel like that's God telling you hey, You might want to listen.
Stop sign.
Right. So I was like, let me go get this checked, and really didn't expect anything negative to come back, and was like blown away when I got the call that, we need you to come back in and we need to run some tests. So
when you went in, because I've had a callback last year, I had a callback. Everything was fine
So
on that
did I
callback.
last year.
Yeah. And we're at that age where things are just changing, and your chemistry and
tissue
hormones and
changes.
perimenopause and all the
All
other
the
fun stuff that God said, I think you women should go through. But, that's another story. So they called back and everything was fine. So when they called back, what did they tell you? Did they do another exam or?
Yes, they did another exam. So when I went in the first time, they did the ultrasound, and they did a biopsy. And, I should say my first appointment was just the ultrasound, and they were like, I think we see something, we want to do a biopsy. And even when I was getting the biopsy done, the tech was like, oh, you know what? We have people come in all the time. Don't, don't stress.
Right.
Like, we're going to do the biopsy, and until someone calls you and tells you something, like, don't sit around stressing.
Right. It's like your moles. When you have to go in and they do a biopsy on your moles, you're thinking, you're
exactly.
fine.
And so I was just like, okay, I'm going to go and get this done. It's not going to be anything. I didn't stress about it at all. And then I remember sitting at work, I was in my cubicle and got the phone call, and I was just like in shock. And
so what did they say when they called you?
They called and they said, we did find something with the biopsy. We need you to, make an appointment. And of course, they won't give you all the details on the phone.
Right.
So I remember just sitting there like, okay, this cannot be happening. Like, this cannot be happening.
Did it feel like you were in the Twilight Zone?
Yeah,
like,
because
did you just feel like this is just...
Well, you don't even have answers.
You're
You're just, we found.
So that is like the worst call is we found something, but we can't tell you exactly.
You need to come in.
Because you need to come in.
Because your brain races.
Of course.
Yeah.
We have all seen that in the movies.
Yes.
It ain't good news.
It's
when
not.
You're walking
It's
in
never
that door.
good news. Exactly. Because even when they say, there's a callback, you're still already going worst case scenario.
Right.
But the callback doesn't even really mean anything.
Right.
And so even when they called me back to do the biopsy, I was just like, they're going to test the fluid. It's not going to be any big deal. Nobody has cancer in my family, breast cancer, whatever. And so they're going to find that it's, benign, and we're going to move on. And was in shock when I got the call. And Sue Gatton, who I worked with at CB Jenny at the time, she's at Taylor Morrison now. And she just looked at me and she's like, what? And I'm like, I think there is something really wrong. And so she was, like, you have to tell Michael. Because I wasn't going to tell him. Like, I was going to figure this all out. Like, dude, we're just dating. Like, I'm not telling you all my stuff yet.
Right. You're like, we're not there yet.
We're not there yet. And she's like, you have to tell him. You have to, and I'm like, he just got here. We just really got serious.
Right.
Not really sure if I'm ready to do all of that yet. And then, of course, my daughter, because again, there still hadn't been anything with what exactly was wrong.
How old were your kids at this point?
I'm sorry?
How old were your children?
My daughter was 13 or 14, and my son was 19.
Oh, my.
Yeah. So he was, had just moved out. He's on his own. Again, we had just gone through the divorce, so he's adjusting to, okay, I grew up with my parents this whole time, and I kind of knew my mom wasn't happy, but I am still trying to adjust to this new normal with them not being in the same place.
And I have to say one thing real quick. Janae, when we went on our little trip, I mean, she's like a little mama bear.
She is.
And she is like looking after you and calling you and checking in on you. And you're like,
you would think, make it there safe.
And
how old is she now?
She's 25 now. She'll be 26 next month.
You would think she was the mom. Like when we were down there. I thought it was precious. So I cannot imagine. And then, go ahead with what you're saying.
But to your point, like she is like, when we went to Broken Bow, I hadn't called her to let her know I got there. And so she calls like it. You didn't call.
So sweet,
That's
though.
Awesome.
And then, I'm sitting there in front of them explaining, like, we're sitting here in the living room.
Yeah, I thought it was
I'm
precious.
your daughter.
Right.
Awesome.
She's just like,
I hope my daughter cares about me that much. I mean, I don't think that would ever I would ever get tired of that.
That's the one thing I can say with her. I never get tired of it.
Yeah.
Like, even if I'm on a plane, like, hey, I made it to the airport where I'm sitting in my seat, you know, just got off the plane,
I love
you know,
that.
because she wants to know every,
Well, and 14 is a really hard stage in life, right? So her foundation has been rocked by the divorce.
Yes.
And now her mom is sick. Oh, my word. Like that created probably
a lot of,
so how was she at 14 when, I mean, what, you just
disaster. It so, and the part that was, because as you just said, like 14 is such a precious age. And for a teenage girl, like that's just when everything starts.
Yes.
So
yes, I know.
Oh
my word.
You're past the I love you for everything, mom, and into the like I really don't want to listen to you, and I know everything. Yeah. So it was right there.
Can you not?
Yeah.
Can you not?
Yes.
Oh, mine's I know.
Oh yeah, I know. Yes, I know.
Clean up your room. I know.
I know. So
yes. So it was, and honestly, even going through. We like her whole high school years were rough. It was really rough because after going through my cancer journey, her getting used to Michael, wondering like, okay, if something happens, where am I gonna go?
Right. The abandonment,
that whole abandonment, and then just being a typical teenager, falling in love with guys who she shouldn't be around, and all of those things.
Oh,
yes. It's like I felt like I dealt with a lot of feeling like I let her down because I couldn't parent her really at the time because I had to make a choice between living or dying. I can be stressed out about her and this can happen again because, stress brings on recurrence of cancer, or I can do what the doctor said and follow everything and
be the good patient.
And trust God that she's going to be okay. And even though we had a really rough high school years, I mean, she talks now as if none of that happened. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, kid. You don't remember? You don't remember
Has she glossed over it?
Oh, right now she glosses over it all the time. Like you don't remember going to truancy court, and you don't remember, like, oh my gosh, when I say we went all the way deep in, but she graduated on time. My kid is a charmer. Her teachers have always loved her, so she always figures out a way to make it work. So she walked the stage on time. How she did it, I have no clue, but she made it through and graduated like she's supposed to.
Wow.
So I mean, she made it through, and I think that made her and Michael have a stronger relationship. They are like two peas in a pod. I mean, they can go like this or they're like loving each other. It's like there's no in between. Right. It's like either they're getting on each other's nerves or they're hugged up on each other, doing a puzzle or, talking whatever and leaving me out like I don't, they're just like, they get along so well.
How long was the cancer? Like, because she was 14.
Yes. So I got diagnosed when she was 14. I had surgery December of 2015. I got diagnosed October. Okay. I went in to have the tumor removed in December. It was stage 2 and stage 2B. So stage 2B. So I was almost at a 3 by the time they found it. And so I had the option to do a full or do a lumpectomy or to have, both my breasts removed. And
we explain just for our audience what a lumpectomy.
A lumpectomy just basically means they only remove the tissue out of your breast. You get to keep both of your breasts.
Okay.
But they remove the tissue that is cancerous. And so when I talked with my breast surgeon, and I will say, Dr. Iyengar is in Allen. I don't think I would have made it through as good and as positive as I did had it not been for her, because walking into every doctor's appointment was like grueling because it's like the reality that you have breast cancer and now you're one of those people. And I walked in and she just looked at me and she's like, oh, we're going to knock this out. And she was just like, are you ready for this? Like, I don't have a failure rate. Like, we're gonna knock this out, and we're gonna.
That
And
just
after,
gave me chills.
And at that point, I'm just like, oh hell yeah, we're not gonna, we're getting this out, and we're
so
she
awesome.
seriously was the first doctor, and I have a great team of doctors, but she was the first one that just made me be like, oh yeah, we're knocking this out, and this is not coming back. And so she was like, yeah, I don't have she's like, my reoccurrence rate is like I don't even think it was 1% at that time. And so she's just like, yeah, I don't do this for it to come back. So
I'm like,
yeah.
So what did I know I am too. I'm like trying to like keep myself together.
What's her name?
Dr. Iyengar.
Okay, and Allen.
She is at Texas Health in Allen, or Texas Presby in Allen. And I think she's been voted like best breast surgeon, I don't know how many years.
That attitude though that she has that just gives you like this confidence and just this reassurance when you're so scared and you're like, and how amazing.
Your brain is a powerful
very
healer.
powerful.
Yes.
And even when my mom came into town, because I told, of course, then it's, you have to break it to your parents, and my parents.
Who'd you tell first?
So I told Michael first just because he was here.
Okay.
And then of course I told my ex-husband, because in case something happened, with Janae, like you need to know what's going on. Then I told my parents, and the only time I've ever heard my dad cry is him telling him that. Like the only time in my life I've ever heard anything remotely close to a cry was that. And I told him, I can't ever hear that from you. Like, I won't.
I need you to be strong.
Yes.
You cannot do that
you
to me.
cannot do that again.
Yeah.
And then they immediately like gave up 8 months of their life and just came and moved here to Texas and took care of me for the whole time.
That's awesome.
Amazing parents.
Thank God they were both retired early. And at the time I was staying in like a small little 2-bedroom apartment, and we made it work in the little 2-bedroom apartment. But when I brought my mom to see Dr. Iyengar, after that, my mom wasn't a mess either. She was just like, oh, she's the right doctor. Like, we're going to get through this. She is the right doctor.
That's amazing.
And after that, my mom was like, we're
She was
good.
right on.
Yep.
Yeah. So when did you tell your daughter then? After your parents?
So I told my daughter, she's
probably the last one to find out at this point, right? Yeah.
I told her after, like, kind of as everything was going on with kind of coordinating with my parents coming, and, told her what was going on. And of course she cried, and we cried. But she didn't really have like a real powerful reaction. I think she was just more scared.
Yeah.
So she just got more withdrawn and
more
quiet.
Yep.
Because I think, it was kind of just not knowing what was going to happen. But with like I said, all the support that she saw coming in with, Michael being who he was, and, telling her like, I'm here, I'll make sure that you're okay. And then she got to see how well everybody at CB Jenny treated us. I mean, we had meals coming. They took care of Christmas. I mean, it was like everything. I think that helped to build her up and let her know that, this was going to be okay. It was positive for her.
And that's awesome to have that kind of work family, because it's not
gosh,
always like that.
No, and it was funny. It was just right, not too long. We'd been bought out by CB Jenny, had been bought by Green Brick.
Yeah.
But there were still a lot of changes that were going on, and they had just changed our sick day policy. And I still remember Bruno coming to my desk, and he was just like, yeah, this doesn't apply to you, And I was going through cancer the same time another gentleman in our office, Brett, was going through. And unfortunately, he didn't make it. His was stomach, or related with his stomach, and he didn't make it through. And so it was kind of, we were going through this at the same time, working, together and supporting each other. But Bruno was just like, yeah, you take whatever time we're, this whole new sick
What position
policy.
did you have at that point?
I was a purchasing manager at the time. Yeah.
Okay.
So, or no, I think I still was doing, I think it was right before. So I was still doing like admin setup. So I was still doing all the community setup. I don't remember what the exact title was we'd given at the time.
I run a small business called KJ Custom Screens and Outdoor Living, and social media has been a really big play into how I run my business. And about 10 years ago, social media was really starting to become big, and people were turning to that for a lot of their information. And I had started doing some social media, didn't know a whole lot about it, kind of educated myself a little bit. Didn't really like what I was doing, so I hired another company. Didn't really like what they were doing. I didn't see any benefit from it. So I said, well, screw that. If I can learn construction, I can learn how to do social media.
Yeah.
So I started teaching myself how to do it and what the algorithm was and what the best platforms were to do it, and kind of changed the trajectory of where our social media was going, and it really increased. And so when my daughter-in-law graduated college from Texas A&M Corpus Christi in social media in media studies, we decided to start a business. We called it Monarch Media Hub. It is a woman-owned business, and we specifically work with small businesses. We're not a big company. We're not looking to grow in that area. There isn't somebody out there that we could find that would really do what we wanted in the price range that we wanted. So we created it ourselves because that's what women do. So we work with small builders. We work with big builders. We work with trades, kind of predominantly in the construction program. We do some self-promotion accounts as well. So if you're looking to grow your social media business, please give us a call, Monarch Media Hub. You can contact us at hello@monarchmediahub.com. I know Zannika's looking to bring her company over to see what we're doing and kind of join us in growing her social media presence with her company.
Yes. And if you guys have not seen the things they post, you have got to go check them out. I mean, they're high and tight. Like
we are, and we are the producers for BuildHERS Club.
Yeah.
So all of the promotions, everything you've seen, that has come from us. So give us a shout again, hello@monarchmediahub.com, and we will get you started.
How did you get into construction? Like, how did you come to construction?
I literally, as I was finishing my degree. I was like, the kids are in school. They're all settled. When we moved from Illinois, I just took a few years off to make sure they were settled in school. Big move, didn't have to go back to work full time. Right. And so finally took a few years off, started going to school. And then about my last year in school was like, I probably should start looking for a job, try to find something full time, and just went through a temp agency. And I landed at CB Jennings, and it was just, hey, they need somebody to answer phones and do some, miscellaneous office, stuff. So I was like, sure. And so I had no clue what they did. I didn't know what CB Jennings stood for. Like I was looking at these invoices like, what the heck? Like, what?
Marble slab.
What?
What's a marble slab?
BFS. Like, or their builder's first source. Like, what is all of this? And then because it's like, I have an accounting background because I've done accounting before, and I'm just like, are they making money? Like, is this going to be a full-time place?
Right.
Like, maybe I'm going to need to look for some place, because I couldn't tell exactly what was going on because they were still in so much in their infancy stage.
Yeah.
They had just moved out of, I think, a dental office into this, big office.
What year was that?
That was 2012, 2013.
Okay, that's like almost right when I came to the industry.
Oh, is it really? Yep. And so they had just moved up to the office, and oh my gosh, we had such the best group of people that worked there. We had so much fun. We'd go and work late and just have fun with each other, blast music because nobody was in the office, and so we really grew as a group. And I was kind of like the first employee after they'd moved from the dental office that I would always hear these, well, remember when we were in the dentist office? Remember when you're, I'm like, no, I don't remember. But then it was like, I felt, I don't know what made it work, but it worked. And we all were just like, they were like, you have to hire her full time. She has to be a part. And I was kind of in between at the accounting department and purchasing at the time. And Alex Ledane, who I forgot her married name now, but she works for Olivia Clark now. And she was over at County. Buckley, yes.
Yeah.
And she asked, like, well, which one do you want to do? And I started doing purchasing and was like, okay, this is my calling. I get to shop all the time and not spend my money.
That's so awesome.
I don't even know what I'm buying, but I just get to go buy stuff.
I love that. That's awesome.
And I haven't spent a penny.
Job description.
It is. Yes. It really is.
That would get more purchasing managers.
You get to the whole shopping
to shop with other people's money.
Shop with other people's money, and you get to figure out how to save, and so it was just one of those where it's like I started doing that, and I said I don't think there's anything else I would ever do. Yeah. Like I love purchasing.
Now I don't remember every single person that was there at that time, but just knowing what I know of who was there, like so down to earth, like just so. How long were you in that department and working there before you found out you got your breast cancer?
I was there probably 3 years.
Okay.
3 years.
Okay. So you had like rooted in.
Yeah, had rooted in. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Had rooted in. So I was there about 2.5, 3 years before I found out.
Okay.
That I had it.
And then, so when did Pulte come into play?
So Pulte came into play 2017-ish, 2018.
Okay.
I was at CB Jenny. 2021. 2020. Sorry, 2020. Because I started at Mill Creek in 2021. So I started at Pulte in 2020. Really was kind of one of those things where it's like, hey, I'm a purchasing manager here at CB Jenny, looking for an opportunity to grow. Pulte came along. It gave me the opportunity to learn how a national builder works, and decided to make the change over to Pulte at that time.
So after you went through the cancer and all the things, which I still want to talk about the chemo, and there's
how
more
long
to talk.
Was it?
Yeah.
So I started chemo in January 14th. Exactly.
Because you had your surgery in December.
I had my surgery in December. They went to remove the tumor. I had to go in for a second surgery because my markers weren't clear, which is they look for your lymph nodes and they want to make sure that you have a clear circle of no possible cancerous lymph nodes.
The surgery that you had was just removing the mass.
Just
you didn't
removing
do okay.
Yes.
That we didn't clear. Okay.
Yep. And so I had the mass removed. They tested the lymph nodes around it. My Dr. Iyengar didn't feel comfortable that she'd removed enough.
Okay.
So she went back in and removed a little bit more tissue around so that she could get completely clear markers. So I had 2 surgeries, and that's why I didn't start chemo until January 14th.
Gotcha. And then how long was your chemo?
Went through chemo all the way through May. May 26th was my last day of chemo, and then started 8 weeks of radiation after that. And so chemo started off every 2 weeks. I would go in on Thursday, and I'd have work with me sitting there. Yeah, that's how dedicated.
Of course,
but I love. My budgets had to be right. I can't. Nothing can fall apart.
Aren't we always still focused in on the job?
Yes,
we're always.
It's probably what you needed,
and it was. And so it did get to a point where I was starting to get like so frustrated with things. My mom's like, "No more work. You can't do work here.
You can't do anything about it."
Right. Like, so you're basically you're hooked up to an IV and you're just sitting there. So I'm like, perfect time to go through budgets.
Yes.
So
distraction.
And then I'd be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe, and she's like, yeah, no, you're not doing it.
She wouldn't let you.
You need positive.
You're right.
I'd be doing the same thing though.
Yep.
Exactly. And so, so it was every other week to start off for your first 4 sessions. And then that is because the chemo that they're giving you is really strong, and it takes you a long time to recoup. So I'd go in on Thursday. I probably wouldn't get back out of bed until maybe Tuesday-ish of that following week. And then right when you start kind of feeling good from Tuesday to the weekend, then you got to go, right back. So, so that was 4 sessions. And then the lesser, the chemo that they give you that's not as strong, you did that once a week. And so that one was a lot easier to deal with. And it actually, I can't remember all the names anymore. I meant to look them up before because I'm like, gosh, I don't even remember what the names are called anymore. But the first harder one is that's what makes you lose your hair and your nails, and you go through. So I lost all my hair, my eyebrows, my dark, my nails were dark. It just breaks everything down in you.
What does your insides feel like?
I thankfully did not have the throwing up experience or getting sick to my stomach. Okay. I didn't lose a bunch of weight. I'm like, of course I won't lose weight. Of course I'll be the one who doesn't. And I know that sounds but you know how we are as women.
You might as well get something out of it, right?
Yeah, it's like at least right. Of course I won't be the one that loses weight with this. So I actually gained weight during it.
Was it water retention at that point?
No, they tell you you're supposed to eat.
Okay.
And so I am, because how my brain is just wired, if you tell me you're supposed to eat, even if I don't want to eat, I'm going to eat. Because if you told me this is going to make me feel better, I am doing everything that you said from A to Z, exactly how you said it from A to Z. So the nurses were great. And it was just like, hey, if you do these things, you'll rebound faster. You'll be able to make all your sessions.
Right.
And then we won't have to prolong this, because if your white blood cell counts don't rebound fast enough, you'll have to prolong your treatment.
Okay.
And I am like, nope. We have a schedule. We have to meet schedule. And if you tell me to go eat greasy hamburgers, whether I like them or not, then I'm eating a greasy hamburger if that's going to keep me here. And I almost missed one session because my white blood cells were like right on the border, but they didn't dip enough. And they were like, it was one of those where they asked, do you want to? And I'm like, oh yeah. Because we're not doing this any longer.
You were a good patient.
I really am. If you say, hey, this is what you're supposed to do.
Eat your lima beans.
I will, as much as I hate lima. It's so funny. Michael loves lima beans. I'm always like, that's like the most disgusting thing ever.
I love them. Like soap. No, they're like butterbeans. They're so good.
Oh, no.
So funny. Brinley and I love them. And Davis is like, what is happening?
It's so weird.
It's so funny. But if they would have told me, hey, lima beans is the answer, I'd have down.
Right. They taste like butterbeans.
No.
You go, no.
Like chalky clay soap in your mouth.
I think they're delicious.
That's all what green tastes like. That's
so funny.
That's what ginger tastes like to me too, is soap.
Squirrel.
A lot of people.
I mean, we'll just go down squirrel. Just go down a rabbit hole. Talking about lima beans.
You started it.
Sorry, I did.
Oh my word! So CB Jenny was really
they were amazing.
Awesome.
Yes, they were amazing. They were amazing.
And you have lifelong friends now.
Yes. Oh, definitely.
Yes,
definitely. It's like we became like we really were. We really became a huge family. The construction team was great. Everybody in the office was great. As I went through the whole ordeal, and like I said, I couldn't have asked for a better place to be working at during that time.
So amazing.
Yeah.
Such
awesome.
A blessing.
And it even with Michael and Janae, they both were just like, gosh, I can't believe like you guys really like each other. It's like, no, because we really did like, each other.
Yeah. So it was about 8 months with radiation.
So 8 months.
So 8 months.
So then you go through the chemo, and the radiation actually is pretty grueling because it's every day. And even though it's for a short amount of time, they're basically like burning, they're putting this laser on you. And it doesn't seem like it's exhausting because you're laying there on a table and they put a laser on you, but you're being radiated. So the radiation over time starts to
really affect your body.
Really affect you. And thankfully, where I was at, where I worked at, there was a doctor's office right around the corner. So it was like 3 minutes from the office.
Yeah.
So I could get there during my lunch hour. But that was, 6 weeks of being,
Lasered.
Being lasered on your lunch hour.
And not the good kind.
And not the good kind, yes.
No.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And so, because it's every day, I think I missed 3 sessions because I was just like, okay, I'm just in too much pain to, do. And, but, I missed 3 sessions out of the 33, I think is what it came out to be. So however many weeks 33 sessions are. But it's everyone reacts, and the same thing with the chemo. Everyone reacts differently.
Right.
Everyone reacts differently with the radiation. And I didn't start having problems until right around week 4, where it was just starting to get like, I'm like, yeah, no more bras. I can't do it. Like
I already don't want to wear a bra. The first thing I do when I walk in the house is take it off. Yeah,
yeah,
but
free those girls.
Yes, free them.
But you like went that long, and then it was like finally you're like, this is enough of the
And because it's like you can't. It just anything on your skin because it just was too painful. But got through all of that, and thankfully, like I said, I really feel blessed that I didn't have reactions that I know other people have gone through where they aren't able to work and they're not able to get out of bed. Like I really, after the first 4 chemo sessions that I had, I pretty much felt as normal as I could possibly feel, I guess, at the time.
Yeah.
So you and Michael got married after? Or before?
So we got married during. We just didn't tell anybody that we got married during.
Okay.
Because everyone's like, you should wait. And, and we're just like, we wanted to go ahead and get married.
Right.
One, it was what we had already talked about doing anyway. Mm-hmm. And then 2, was kind of one of like, I don't want to keep living with you without being married.
Right. Yeah. Well,
So,
that's a thing. Right?
That is truly a thing.
Yeah. Hello.
100%.
So we literally went to church and
got married.
Went and bought some like real inexpensive rings at the mall and just went to our pastor and he married us. And
that's awesome.
But didn't tell anybody. Like my daughter didn't know. Right. My parents didn't know. We just just for us to know that we had made the commitment and follow through on that. And then, because I'm like, that's one less thing I have to be on my mind of God.
So when did you do that? Was that January?
That was in February 26th. So
that was after your surgery?
Yeah.
Before your chemo?
Before my chemo. So it was actually, I went to chemo on the 25th and then we went that Friday and went to church and got married.
So that man knew.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
100% what he was walking into.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yes, he did.
Wow. So you've survived cancer and a heart attack in your career.
Yes.
How did you find the strength to keep going? Yeah, we can touch on that in a second.
Yeah.
But I wanted to
keep going
with life and with through it all, like what gave you strength to keep going?
Oh God, for sure. Yeah. But I'm one of those like there's no other option. Like, what are you going to do?
Right.
Yeah.
Not live.
There's no give up there.
And I really feel that going through the cancer and then earlier this year in April, toward the end of April, I got home. Like I had this huge pain in my chest. And I was like, okay, maybe I pulled a muscle. I do work out and exercise and it wouldn't go away. And what got Michael was I'm like, I'm afraid to go to sleep. Like, I don't think I need to go to the hospital. Because I really, I can breathe and I don't feel like my heart's racing or anything like that. And I'm not having this, huge pain.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
something's wrong.
Something is wrong. And he knows I'm not, I need to go to.
Like you say anything, you're in that car.
I broke, we went out one time, I broke my foot and I was just like, I told him I think I broke my foot. And we went to the emergency room and it was too swollen for them to tell, but I still walked. I'm like, I'm still getting my 10,000 steps.
Right, exactly. She's like hell or high water. You're like, I'm fine. I'm going. You got like a leg falling off. You're still working. You're like,
no blood showings.
Putting some Windex on.
Isn't that the generation? The Windex. Oh my gosh, I love that.
But yeah, so with the heart attack, it was like I went in and my blood pressure was really high, And there's a test that they run that tests your blood count for something. And they're like, yours is like 100 times more than what it should be.
Oh, wow.
But it's one of those, they said that as women, we don't catch. It's the silent heart attack that most women don't catch.
So it's not the widowmaker, like the widowmaker in a widower maker in for a woman, whatever it is. Okay.
And he was like, most women don't catch it because we're just going and going and going. And then when you actually have a massive heart attack, you don't even realize you had one, previously. And he was like, I'm glad that you know your body well enough to know to come in. And my EKG was normal. They went in to see if they needed to do a stent. I had no blockage. Like, it was just really one of those words, like my I can't think of what the word is, but there's a blood test. It was just way out of whack.
Wow.
And that's why they were like, because they were expecting to go in and having to do possibly do a stent or something.
Right. So it wasn't the normals. It was a stress. They have no idea.
They have no idea. They're like, and it was within 24 hours, I was back to normal. And I'm like, okay, can I go? Can I go home now?
Yeah.
So, and since then, I've go to a heart doctor. But at my first appointment, he's like, everything looks good.
So what would you tell a younger person faced with breast cancer or heart attack or just, any health issue?
Lupus. There's so many of these things out there right now. Lupus is really affecting our younger generation.
Mm-hmm.
It's more and more prevalent. So just somebody who's going through something this deep.
My philosophy on life is that if God has woken me up today, I still have something to do. And I have to trust that. And there's too many people that I feel are counting on me to not get up and live life. So if I, and I literally because she still got something for me. There's days when I'm just like,
oh Lord, take me now. Yeah.
But if I wake up every day, my day is then meant to be able to help somebody or to get things done. Yeah. And that's just how I view life. I will wholeheartedly say that going through breast cancer as young as I did, my whole view on life changed. It's like, there's no more, hey, I'll do that, tomorrow, or I got plenty of time to get to that. It's like, when are we going to go do this? And when are we going to go do that? And, for my 50th, I did parasailing because it was one of my bucket list things that I wanted to do. Yep. And it was, Michael's just like, I'll let you do that. I'm going to sit in the boat and go with you. I'll video you and make sure you don't die.
That's what I would have been doing.
But I'm not going up there. But it's like, it's like you do the things that you love. You love the people that you're around.
Yeah. And you probably are very picky about who you surround yourself with.
Oh, I am extremely picky about who I surround myself with and who I spend my time with.
That circle.
I probably was semi-picky before, but I am very picky about who, because I don't want to be around negative people. I don't want to be around people who are complaining and crying and I've done enough of that. Just I don't need to be around other people. And a lot of people don't understand the blessings that they have right in front of them. And again, we all go through. It doesn't even have to be cancer. We all go through things. Yeah. And I don't minimize anything that anybody goes through because everybody's challenges is truly their challenge.
Right. But it's how you react to it.
It's how you react to it. And to me, you don't have a right to not go through something to help somebody else out.
I love it. That's why I just love you. I love you.
I love that thought process. So I love that, how she said that. You don't have a right to go through something without helping somebody else out. If you actually take the focus off of you and put it on helping somebody else, then it lifts you up versus brings you down. So that's a great point right there. What would you tell other women?
You're such a source of strength and encouragement to someone else.
Thank you.
And to so many people.
Oh,
yes. I loved hearing your story.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, I don't want to stop talking, which we do have to.
I know we didn't talk a lot about construction.
But that's okay. Because you know what? I think with the construction aspect, you had a construction family that really helped you.
Yeah.
You know, and you had a support of your own family. You had an amazing husband at that point. Yeah. It drew everybody together.
Yes.
And I think when somebody's going through a situation like that, that's what it does, is it draws your
support circle is so important at that time. And like I said, it could have went a whole completely different way, and thank God that it didn't. But I always tell my daughter, like, you were the focus. You still needed a mom.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't check out.
Right.
Yeah.
There was no option. And I know that there's plenty of women who go through breast cancer with the same attitude and they don't make it through.
Right.
So how am I to be like, feel any type of way other than, okay, I went through this, I made it through. And I've known several other women in our construction industry who've gone through this since. And I'm just like, you call me if you have any questions, need anything, because
I think it's so hush-hush in our industry.
I don't understand why, because there's so many people who are going through it now. I mean, to me, you hear about someone going through it like all the time now. It's not,
but not in our industry.
Quiet.
People don't talk about it.
And then you find out that, oh yeah, I went through that at So.
Well, and can I say, like, why was I scared to say, will you share your journey? Like, I was not scared to ask you to come on and share your journey, but a little bit apprehensive, because I don't know if when you like ask somebody if they're like, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to share that. Like, and there might be, and that's okay, right?
Right.
But I was nervous to like kind of ask you, which is silly.
I'm an open book. I talk about anything.
I know.
I'm always like, you can ask me anything. I'm going to tell you the truth.
Yes.
But especially this to me. Yeah.
Because I haven't been through it. And like, I want to be sensitive and respectful to everyone's journey is different, right?
Yes, exactly.
But I was a little like, nervous, and that's silly, but that's from an outsider,
right?
That who hasn't been through it. There needs to be more talking about it. There needs to be more openness.
Until you go through it, you don't know where that community is,
right?
Yes,
Exactly.
And that it's okay to call Jaynean.
Yes.
She would love Jaynean.
Thankfully, I found a Facebook group called that's in DFW that's called Faith Wears Pink. And it's just a group of women who are all going through, and they, going through breast cancer, and you can vent, you can ask for, hey, are there any doctors?
Yeah.
It's just, and then if someone does pass away, she lets everybody know, like, okay, sorry, we lost our pink sister, so you kind of keep up with everyone. And so,
that's a great,
so
it was a great
you're
an inspiration to the women who are already in it.
Yes.
And what's this called? Is a Facebook
It's
group?
called Faith Wears Pink.
Faith Wears Pink.
Yes.
Awesome.
Speaking about being a little bit apprehensive and should not be, because you're an open book. We are mentoring women in College. I think I told you this in our conversation that are of different nationalities.
Yes.
And you are so highly respected in our industry as just a purchasing manager, as a woman of faith, of just all these wonderful, great things. And I just wanted to kind of get your perspective on, like, has there been any moments as being an African-American woman where you felt like in an industry that's male dominated, that you like had like that created challenges or even strengths, or that has shaped how you work differently or can you speak to any of that?
The only thing I would say is I wish there were more. I don't think it's an industry that a lot of women in general think about, but definitely not a lot of African-American women. Yeah. I will kid you not, if I'm driving down the street and there's like construction going on the street, or, because someone's standing out holding a sign and it's an African-American woman, I'm just like, thank you. This is a whole career that no one talks about.
That's right.
Yes.
And again, it's not even like I started out. I really feel like I just fell into it by being blessed by God to happen to be at the right company.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot of women or, African-American women that even think about this, because when you think construction, you automatically think of being outside in the heat.
Right.
And there's so many more jobs, and so many more positions in construction than just standing outside, in 100-degree weather.
Right. A ton more.
A ton more. And so, no, I think that's great. And that was, reason why as soon as you sent us the link about Davidson, supporting, it was just like, oh yeah, we definitely have to support this.
Yes, because now you're at Davidson Homes, and you have found an amazing work family work
another
home
amazing work family.
Yes, and you've been highly sought after, which of course you would. People saying, "Come work with us," and you're like, "I'm really happy here, at Davidson.
I'm really happy here. Leave me alone."
Yeah, and they're making their way in Texas.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
No, we're stepping in the market. We're in 4 communities now. Just opened up our 4th community. We got 2 more that are coming up. So
nice.
super excited about that.
That is so exciting.
And I always say I always talk about that. I feel like my superpower in construction is helping divisions start up. I love the mess, the starting up. Because I really feel like, that's what construction is. It starts off as
and that's
dirt.
not the pretty part.
No, it's not the pretty part. The excavating, to get rid of all the brush and, making it dirt and then pouring a foundation. And like, I really feel like that's,
and building that community aspect of it.
That's building that whole house. And even when we got our house built, and I, was taking pictures and sharing on Facebook because a lot of people don't even understand. I think building houses is like the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah,
like watching it go up is like so cool. And
it's magical.
Building somebody's dream.
It's magical.
It's magical.
Oh,
yeah. I still remember.
I feel like everyone should be in our business.
Yes. I walked on a roof one time and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I actually got to get up on a roof today. And everybody's like, what?
Like, that's really exciting.
That is freaking exciting. I got to see the shingles and the underlayment, all
but
the
you go home and
things
tell your kids and they think that's the coolest thing.
And they think that's exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, my grandson is just like, he puts on my hard hat because, of course, I drive around with a hard hat all the time. And so he's always got my hard hat on as soon as he gets it in my truck and he's driving around with it and he asks me questions.
We have not got to talk about Jameer and what a light he is to you. And is he just so stinking fun? You get to see
our
him.
grandbabies. Okay, so neither of us have grandbabies, but I hear through the grapevine that grandbabies are like the biggest blessing because you can do, like, you don't have the stress of being the parent, right? And so you just get
to have the fun and give them
back. Have the fun.
Yeah.
Well, you get to have the fun. You get to kind of, when you're a parent, you're still figuring it out yourself.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully by the time you're a grandparent, you feel like you at least have a little bit of knowledge.
Right. Yeah.
So it's a little bit different giving, information at that point.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we took him to go see a softball game. He wants to play baseball. So
I love it.
close we get him to, he's 6.
6. Okay.
And so we took him to a softball game yesterday. And the first time he saw somebody hit the ball, his eyes were just like, oh my gosh, they hit it so far. Like, how did they do that? So just being able to experience all of that when you're a parent, you don't catch those things because you're still like, oh my gosh, I had to get you to baseball practice. And I just got out of work. I got to cook dinner when I get home. So being able to watch it and be more in a comfortable and relaxed, you get to enjoy the first reactions of everything. And
I love it.
He's, I don't know, he's much more dramatic. So he's like, his facial expressions are, huge. And
it just makes you smile, right? Just watching him, the wonder in his eyes. It just like,
So then we, yesterday, so as we're walking back, there's a fence there. And he, went to go like climb the fence. And he was just like, he got kind of stuck. And so I started climbing the fence and he's like, how'd you do that? And I'm like, come on, you can do it too. And so he's like, but I'm going to fall. And I'm like, no, you're not. So he's like, yeah, you didn't think I could do that.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's so great.
But no, it's just his first initial reactions to things are awesome. And then, like I said, my granddaughter that's in Wisconsin, we only get to FaceTime with her. But
how old is she?
She is 7.
Okay.
So she was the first one. So she is, she loves Roblox and she's,
that age.
Loves, big
that's
time.
Minecraft.
Right. Minecraft.
Yeah, Roblox is everything. Yes. Oh, yeah. But at least there's FaceTime now.
Yes, exactly. So, I don't know what we would do without. Like, everyone, talks about technology. That's like the best thing.
Yeah.
If it's used in the right way.
If it's used in the right way, But when you have long distance, it's perfect.
Yeah.
So,
one last question before we close. I could not finish without this question. What message would you leave with young women entering the industry or anyone facing adversity?
That it's only one day. So like when we were walking up and I was like, Wednesday sucked, right. But yesterday was just fine. So it's, you just have to make it through that day.
Yeah.
It does get better. And, like I said, I think this is one of the best industries ever to work in. And kind of, I feel sorry for people who don't work in our industry.
And your faith has played a lot.
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
Everybody is in the place where they're supposed to be at the right time, even if it doesn't seem like it's the right time. Yep. Even if you don't understand what or why.
Right.
It's all in his time.
It's all in his timing. Yep. And when you get to the other side, because you will get to the other side, it does start to make more sense as time goes on. And it may take years, because I say it took a while, even after going through everything, for me to kind of look back and be like, I think I kind of understand a little bit more of why it was me that had to go do it. You know, I've never been why me?
Yeah.
Right.
But, you know, no one wants to lose all their hair and try to figure out how they're going to go to work and look normal. You know, like nobody wants to go and, you know, do any of that stuff. So
nobody
it's
wants
not
to try
like,
on wigs because they have to.
Because they have to.
Yes.
And, you know, and it's funny. I wore wigs before, then it became where I had to. And then I'm just like, I don't even enjoy it.
Right.
Yeah.
It takes
When you have to.
Right. When you have to, it's different.
Yep.
But, you know, ultimately, you're going to make it through whatever season that you're in right now, and it will make sense sometime down the road. You just have to wake up the next day and just start it fresh.
It's only one day.
It's only one day.
Thank you so much for sharing your journey. You are like, you're a light, and you're so positive, and I love your attitude, and it's just
100%.
Infectious and contagious, and
Thank you.
everyone needs a little bit more Jaynean in their
That's
life.
right.
I'm serious.
100%.
I am serious.
100%. So just really quick, so a great place to get checked for, because it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, is Solace Mammogrammy. And they're all over the Metroplex. You can call them up, and it doesn't matter if you have insurance or not. They have great programs that they will work with you on that. So please, ladies, get your girls checked.
Yes.
Very, very important to get your girls checked. And this is the month to do it.
Even as we were talking earlier, I know everyone wants to talk about how uncomfortable the exam is. But as I was saying, like, going through chemo is nothing compared to going through the 10-minute exam.
That's right.
So
Exactly.
you can either go through 8 months of chemo or take 10 minutes to go get the girls checked. So
Which makes it seem not so daunting.
That's right.
It's like I said, I love going in for my mammogram now because I would much rather get the positive, we're good, than to deal with the what ifs and the what happens if you don't go get them checked.
Exactly.
So please go.
All right, Zan, close us out.
All right. So with that, just like the strongest buildings rise on solid foundations, the strongest women rise from life's toughest battles. Keep building, keep fighting, and know your courage is the blueprint for hope.
Nice.
I love that.
Love that.
Well, thank y'all so much for joining us today.
thank
you
you.
so much for
you
being
so
here. I
much.
loved hearing it. Very inspirational.
Yes, thank you so
And
much.
I can't wait to hear the feedback on how many lives this is going to touch today,
Yes.
because it really will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Love you. Bye.
Thank you for having me.
BuildHERS Club is a production by Monarch Media Hub.
Recorded and edited by MZ Studios and executive produced by the amazing Abigail Thompson.
Hosted by me, Teresa Williams.
And me, Zanika Scusa. If you have a topic you want us to discuss, message us on Instagram at BuildHERS Club.
Or email us at hello@monarchmediahub.com. That's HELLO@monarchmediahub.com.
And as always, when commenting, please use grace. We're here to build each other up.